So we are today planning to start Angular. So I'll just share my screen. So Angular Material is basically a UI framework, complex framework compared to Vue.js or uh, React.js. React.js is the most simplest form. Medium is Vue.js. Angular is slightly on the complex side, but it has a lot of advantages from the Angular framework has a lot of advantages. Some of the advantages being so dependability of third party package is less compared to React.js or Vue.js. So because of that, it is any upgrade that happens, it is easy to maintain. Manageability is faster compared to any other single page application design. So Angular Material is one of the single page application design. So basically, the Angular is prerequisite for Angular setup. I'm assuming that you are setting up a local machine. So first is you need to have a Node.js installed. So Node.js is, of course, Node.js is available from Node.js application that we have seen it under JavaScript itself. We need a Node.js. We thought that. Then Angular needs to be installed through Node.js command prompt. npm install -g at Angular CLI. CLI is a very important component. That is the core. So Angular core we call it as. That is the base for development. And then we are adding Angular material as a second core. And without Angular material, you can use directly the Angular core and then start programming as well. It doesn't matter. But Angular material, you have a lot of components, materialistic components are available. What are all those? We'll see that. So this is where you start the Angular material. So first is Node to be installed. It's an exe file based on Windows or operating system. You need to install it. You have a node.js.org. That is where you can get the node from. So node.js from org, you will get the node. Then this is the two command that you need to execute from node command prompt. I'm sharing it in the UI now. Sorry, I'm sharing it in our question and answer session. So npm install -g at Angular CLI, ng add at Angular material. As soon as CLI is installed, you need to add Angular material. So what is Node.js command prompt? So this is what it is, Node.js command prompt. It is part of, when you install Node.js, this command prompt is available for you to choose. So this is the command prompt where the node exe is always available to directly get executed. All the public environment, everything is got set up directly, right? So please, you have to ensure that you have the proper, I'm just putting ng version. So this is Angular CLI version. My system, I'm having Angular CLI is 14.2.6. Angular 15 is the current latest version released in November 2022. LTS version, they made it as LTS in November 2022. So we use 14.2.6 as Angular CLI. Node 16.18, that is the version I have, right? Package manager, etc. Those things are not much of an importance. So package, Angular Dev Kit Architect, CLI only, all are CLI based, all are referring to 14.2.6. That is the latest version that is in my system. You can take that from here. I have referred some URLs also, reference URL. I'll just copy paste those as well. These URLs will help you in downloading or using the Angular components. Okay. I'm sorry. I'll just put it as these also reference also. I just put it there in the question answer. So this is the reference material. You can use it for setting it up locally, how to set it up, how to set up material, Angular material. Angular material is the most used components in as of now. Okay. So first is Angular local setup. So this can be go through this package. You will get to know how to do that. So once you all do this, then we are ready to create an app. Just confirm me how where you are, how comfortable you are up to this. Have you all done this before or yet to be done? Please raise your questions or confirm me where you are. Otherwise, I'll give you some 5 minutes time. You can install all this. Node.js will not take much time provided you have the good bandwidth. It is around file size. I don't remember. I'll check whether it is in my part of my download. Yeah, it is. I have that. This note. No, sorry. It is getting installed. I don't want installation. It is there as part of my file node.js. Open file location. It is here. It is around 28 MB of size. 28 MB of size node.js. So you can download it. It should not take time. It should not take much time for you to download. From here, it is very, very important for you all because it is critical. There are a lot of new things that we'll be learning here from the perspective of design, from the perspective of compatibility with application, compatibility with mobile devices, right? There is a component called flex layout, but flex layout is going to get obsolete from now Angular 16 version, but I predominantly use flex layout, Bootstrap, CSS. So in our most of our client application, we use the flex layout, but it is unfortunate that flex layout is no longer supported by Angular material team. That is we don't know the reason for it, but it might be because of its popularity. It might come back as well. So in any of these packages, when you decide, one is there are packages that are very important and very much in need, like Angular CLI and all. You cannot avoid it, but there are certain packages where there are a lot of packages available, but you need to be very careful in choosing the package whether it is going to really work for you or not. One of the deciding factor of packages, uh, so there are a lot of packages available. One of the important thing when you are trying to I just put this. One of the thing that you need to be very careful is it's a JS version. It is deprecated version. What is the weekly downloads that is happening for that particular product? That is very critical for you to decide. If this is very high, then this package is going to be good for you. If this is not high, that means people may not be happy. So this is one of the decision maker, whether that package is really used by the people, or is it popularity is there or not there. That is decided by the weekly downloads. Yeah, Angular JS is still in use. That's a very old version before Angular 2. Angular version was there. There are certain packages you can see that it is having more than 1 million downloads. So more than a million weekly downloads. There are certain packages. So it all depends on how much the package is used by most of the people. So that is, you will generally will become aware of that. You can see here it is 6 million downloads per week, but it is a 4 years ago. But still, every week 6 million downloads are happening. That is the popularity of this package. So there are packages which are very much in use. There are packages which may not be that to that extent in use. That popularity is decided by the weekly downloads. If weekly downloads are good, then you can rest assured the package is not unauthentic, or package is almost like stable, right? That is the one of the decision makers for this. We use a lot of third party packages. It's not that Angular material is self sufficient in all respects. There are requirements where we may have to, we need to use the third party packages, right? So we'll talk about that as we go. In Angular side, we may not use any of the third party packages, more or less, very rare. Sometimes we'll use file saver. There is one, generally if I want to save a file locally, we use npm file saver. So this package, if you see, is highly used because 3 million downloads per week. This is a common package we generally use because we want to save the file locally onto our local system. So this will help us to save that file in the local system. So that is the advantages of all this. So every package will have the information of that package requires all the information, and usage also will be there. What is the syntax to be used? What is the example? All these are generally available as part of the README file of that package. It's all will have a reference to the GitHub as well. GitHub also, it is having a reference. From that GitHub, you can take that package as well. So this is the overall the way you can use this. Okay, so this is very important things that we generally use in our Angular material. As I go, I'll let you know what are all the other packages we commonly use. RxJS is another important component. RxJS is the standard part of packages. RxJS is the base for all your Angular material development and design. RxJS is the internal component which Angular himself uses, so that all gets downloaded automatically. We don't have to do anything. It is automatically referenced in the Angular material. Once you have this Angular material installed, when you say global, the global stores in a place where it is in users directory, I think. I immediately don't remember. Hmm. I'm just trying to take where it is stored. It is stored in users. Documents. Users, username here, app data, roaming, app data. App data, I think it is a hidden folder. So app data is actually a hidden folder. Now only after long time I'm coming back to this page, I think. See users, user directory, app data, under app data, roaming, npm, node modules. Roaming, npm, node modules. Here where that Angular CLI, as soon as you download, it will get stored here. This is the place where the global candidates are getting stored here. Right, so this is the path under which you can see the data. We will not touch this, it is just for your information. So this is where the Angular everything is getting stored. Node itself is a global candidate, so that gets stored over here. So this is the base for it. So Angular material, as soon as you do installation, we generally create a package. Once we create a package, we start working on it. Angular requires 3 layers. When you are working with Angular, there are 3 layers involved. One is front end, that is Angular material is acting as a front end layer. Behind that is backend layer, we call it as a Node.js. Node.js acting as a backend layer. It is not that Angular cannot be bound to say C# or anything. You can. That is not. But what we are going to take is Angular material with Node.js and a DB. A DB can be a Postgres itself, can be a DB. So this is the 3 layers which we are going to address. So in my case, Node.js is installed. Angular is already pre-installed. So I am going to start with the project for you. So where I'm going to start the project, I have it, I'm going to start it under our upskill directory. That is what my directory is. Upskill directory is the place where I'm going to start the project. New fresh project. This is purely Angular material side. It is not having any connectivity to the behind the scene. Now Angular material as an independent candidate now. So we are not talking about anything covering to the backend for time being. So that is the place. So I just close this. So right now what you need to do is we expect you to run these 2 commands and make yourself ready and available. Angular npm install -g Angular CLI and ng add Angular material. These 2 commands you are supposed to use it, make yourself available. You are in this command prompt. This is the place you are in. And after that, if you put ng version, you should get this information. To check whether Angular has got installed, with what node package it has got installed, that information is available over here. Is this clear up to this before I move on? I may not touch this again tomorrow. Please make sure you have all this ready. Please raise your hand if you have, if you are clear with what needs to be done. Okay, very important. Please be careful. Yeah. Shall I start? I'm just lowering all your hands. Please confirm, can we start with Angular material pack, starting with the project creation? How many of you have installed Angular in your, how many of you are ready with Angular? Ready with Angular, please. Only 3, 4, 5, that's all? That's all. What about others? We have around 300 and odd people now. I don't know how many are colleges. Very few are there. I am expecting at least some hundreds and 200s. have that Angular ready. Okay. Any problem with installing Angular? Anybody having a problem? I just cleared the hand. Anybody having a problem in installing Angular? Raise your question. Raise it as part of your question. Are you all comfortable up to this? I'm lowering your hands, please. Don't raise any hand. I've lowered your hands. Don't raise anything now. Okay. Okay. I leave it to you because I cannot go with people by people to know whether you have done or not done. It is purely your responsibility to learn. Our responsibility is to teach. So any questions we are here to answer, but make sure you are comfortable with whatever we are doing. Okay. With that, I'll start with creating a new pack. We call it as folder, or we call it as application, or we call it as a project. We start, all these informations are available in the links that I have given. Angular start setup will give you how to set up your Angular base project, all these things. We use the word project here. So that is the base project. The project is nothing but a folder. It will look like this. These are all the projects that we are dealing with. So this is under projects. All these are Angular projects from 2018 till today. So this year we have these are all the projects. 2023 we have. Under this company, so many projects are there. So these are all purely all related to Angular projects, Angular related projects. Okay. So all these are live customer projects that we are dealing with. So 2022 we had so many projects, 2021 so many projects. So there are projects which are continuing from 2021 till today. That is also there. So one of the project being Waka. This Waka project is still going on. So long-term projects. Some of them are short-term projects. So we have started in 2018. That is where we started with Angular in full-fledged project. We started from 2018 for a customer project. Our own product is there called Apido. That Apido is again a Angular project, but it is of older version, not new version. That's of older project. Any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, we'll go with installing the package. Upskill, CD Upskill. This is a place I'm going to create a project. So I call it as Upskill itself as a project name. Generally, project is created with npm init. So that information is available here. You can npm ng new my app. So ng new my app is the syntax that we need to use. So automatically he will create the prerequisite ng new. He will create a directory as well. So I call it as full stack dev. That is my project name. ng new fs dev. That is the project name. I am creating underneath upskill. So it will ask some basic questions. So first is it will ask you whether Angular routing. I create yes. I create yes. The capital is by default no. I want to create it with yes. There are 4 types of CSS I can use. One is CSS, SCSS, SAS or less, anything, without anything. So I go with CSS for time being. We'll create another project for SCSS. We'll take it up later because it has a, what do you call? After we finish off Angular, we come up with that. So all these files are getting created automatically. So you can see now Angular app module, routing module, all these are started. routing is, what is routing? I'll try to give you an example on what is routing so that you will understand that. So I'm creating a project now. If you are all there, you can create parallelly also. So from now on, since it is very, very critical, I'll be taking your confirmation on whether you are able to do it or not, so that then and there we can do that exercise parallelly, right? So it is done. Some package log.json, control F, all that is fine. So successfully initialized JIT. We don't use it, but he has initialized internally. So he has done. So all this has done now. Package is installed successfully. Once you go back to the directory of that project, upskill project, D drive, upskill. If I go to fsdev, this is my files that has got created. None of the files you can ignore. You need all these files. JIT ignore is very important. Once we touch upon JIT, we'll come to know. Node modules is the backbone of any of the JavaScript packages, whether it is types, sorry, whether it is Vue.js, whether it is React.js, node modules will be there. Node modules are the one where all the basic packages are pre-installed, all available for you to use, right? So it is pre-installed and it is available for you to use. So that is the advantages of node modules. Node modules are driven by, there is called package.json. First is understanding this entire folder structure is very important. So the most important factor is package.json, angular.json. Let me just open the package.json, right click, open with notepad. I'll just open with notepad++. So here it will tell you what are all the dependencies that is there and what are all dev dependencies, what are all project dependencies. That means after you compile the code, it is called dependencies. Before compilation or for compilation, whatever system uses is called dev dependencies. So what is compilation? Compilation is nothing but once your code is ready, you make a build so that build is sleek and easy for deployment. So once it is deployed, that is available. That means you can make that build available for public to use. It's basically a web page. What we are designing, it is not a local installer or a local desktop application. We are making a web application. What we are, Angular material is used for web application, not for local or a desktop application. Please remember this, don't get confused. So in this, so the dependencies, the one that is there in dependencies are used after build is compiled. The dependencies, dev dependencies are the one which is used during compilation, during your debugging mode, dev dependencies are used. Second, scripts. The scripts are nothing but shortcut that we can use, execute in our directly in our command. So this is generally used with npm command. Npm run the script name. So npm run script name will execute this script. I can also directly do ng serve. I can directly do that as well. And name is nothing but your project name. fsdev is our full stack development is our project name, right? So this configuration development is where we are now dealing with. ngserve is also, ngserve is basically serves, that means it is creates its own publishing server so that I can access the application. It builds, there is a HTML publisher he uses, I forgot the name. He uses inbuilt server. Inbuilt server he uses. That is what ngserve is used for. It's automatically open. So this is how it will look like. Right now we have created the project. Now we are ready for this itself, right? ng serve. We can now give it ng serve, and open means it opened the browser as well. So in my case, we have compiled the project. We are ready now. I just put cd, go to that project, fsdev, be in the project, then use ng serve -, open. That means it opens the browser as well. So ng serve is basically he creates the server and publishes locally. That means you can see the data in your browser. So that is what he is doing. He is building the application now, and he is compiling. It is building is nothing but compiling the application. He has done it. Now he opens the browser as well. So he opens the browser as well. Localhost 4200 is where the browser is. Angular development server is listening on localhost 4200 on HTTP localhost 4200, and that is what you are able to see here, localhost 4200. So how this page is getting displayed? That is because now I will open it in the Angular, this one. I'll just go back, new window, open recent. It will not be there here. Open folder. I'll go to D drive, upskill, fsdev. This folder I'll open. In this folder, if I go to the app folder, app component, if I go here and app component HTML, this is what you are getting, you are seeing it. You are seeing this now. Right? So style, he has given some style. Right? Margin H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. He has given it as margin 8 pixel with a top and bottom. If this is the case, it is a top margin, bottom margin, 0 being left and right is 0. For all this H1 to H6, this is how he has set. Paragraph he has set like this. Toolbar he has set like this. This is the toolbar wherever he mentioned as a toolbar. And this is what the code below. Once the script page is over, so he has given the media also. Max width sounds like a card container, not. These are all the advanced of the advanced CSS, right? Where media type based on responsive styles. So this will give you an idea of how to, what to do, what not to do, etc. It will give an idea. Hash means is referring to the ID. Hash is referring to the ID. Dot is referring to the class. SVG is a tag name. Without dot, without hash, it is a tag name. Hash is ID. Dot is class. Right? If every class there is a not operator. You can use the not operator as well. So then your actual code starts. This is a toolbar tag. This is my toolbar. Then image tag. Then there are multiple toolbars available. These are all SVG components. SVG components are given here. Like highlight of card. This is a card component. This is a resource component. Right? Container component. Card container. So all this, if you can refer it over here. So fsdev app is running. Resources, tabs. So there are three things. One is learn Angular. You can see when I mouse over is embossing, right? It is coming up. These are material design, Angular material, right? Angular blog, Angular dev tools. So this is part of the landing page. He by default, he shows you, give an example of how a page is. Background image. This is the background image. You call it as watermark, right? That watermark is what you see behind is a watermark. And top, that welcome, Angular welcome, this Twitter, YouTube, all this is a top banner. This is called nav link. We have seen one nav, right? Nav tag. That nav tag is nothing but the top nav link, right? So this is how a Angular material is getting initiated. You want Angular material, we are in Angular material. You want PWA progressive web app, PWA support. PWA support means progressive web app. Progressive web app is very, very useful from the perspective of mobile design. We'll come to that later, not now. Right? What will happen if you click on it? You can check. So you can comment, you can type your command here, etc. Add np add, this is the command. Angular material, this is the command. New component, if I want to create a new component, ng generate component. New component is not how you create a new component, how you flow through the component, we'll talk about it. What is component? We'll talk about that. Right? Run and watch test, this is the command. Build for production, this is the command. You will get the help of these commands directly. So learn Angular, it will go to that website tutorial. Right? He starts from the beginning, how the entire he is having like heroes, tour of heroes. He is having his own sample application. It will take you there. Then CLI documentation, complete documentation of CLI. Right? This is what, how to generate a component, how to create your first project, how to do all that. He has given you the example. We'll come up with some project names. So what are all the commands? What is that? What is the use of that commands? It is all available as part of the CLI documentation. Angular material, this is the material documentation. Right? All pre-styled components you can get from here. Right? All pre-created components. The components are the one which we'll be seeing tomorrow. Most of them will be starting from here. Each one will try to see an example and how to use it. All that we'll see. Then comes Angular blog, Angular dev tools, some of the dev tools that is available in Angular. Right? You can add Angular dev tools in Chrome tab. All that is available. It's all, because it's a big ocean. So how to do it, how to simplify, everything is available. We'll go one after the other. We'll not complicate anything. We'll go from basics. We'll stick to our basics. We'll not go too much things inside. We'll start with one simple form. We'll start with decorating that form in a better look and feel. And then we'll go with some of the most used components so that we are all aware of that. Today, what I'll expect is our support team will expect you to ensure that all the build is ready from with you. They will take your help from you. Sorry, they will give a help to make sure that you have that build ready. All that shared sites are there. Ensure that you have Angular material installed and available for you to use from tomorrow. So that tomorrow we'll start from the creating components, managing components, remove all the defaults. That means this page we will remove it. Instead of this page, we'll start with a simple application, simple CSS, so that we understand it easily. Later, we'll slightly complicate things as we go. Right? That is the idea. I'll come up with a small project for you so that you can manage it easily. Simple command. I want that already I've shared it in the things. We'll start from the beginning. We have just created a project. It's a dummy project. Once you create it, if you just put ngserve to publish the project and access the project using http://localhost. I'll copy paste from here. I'm just putting it onto the. So with this, you can access the project as well. To publish the project ngserve and access the project using HTTP locals. Up to this, you should be ready with all users. All this today we have around 434. Please be ready with this. That is what this practice is all about. I'm not giving as a practice. I want to ensure that any questions, anything, you please let us know. Okay, this is the command. This is how the reference keys are given. So that tomorrow we're going to start with simple page design, one or two components in that, slowly build up the complication as we move. So for that, whatever is required. For example, there are two kinds of application we can develop, like web page kind of an application. Second is real application that we want to use. We may take a library, right? A library store. We take that as a library, as an project name, right? Manage library. So what is the purpose of library? We'll take that, we'll expand that entire library module. On the fly, the word has come library, so we'll take that. What is required for, first is gather requirements for library, understand library features, then come up with some simple design to make it. Okay, we'll go with little by little, we'll not complicate things. Make sure that initial framework, everything is you are comfortable with. Once you are comfortable in that, expanding that knowledge becomes easier. But if you are not comfortable with the base, then it becomes difficult. So first is make sure all these are installed in your machine. Any questions, please feel free to ask your questions. Any doubts also, you please raise here, so that I'll try my best to answer your questions. Otherwise, I just leave it to my team to they will just ensure that all installed and available. Okay. So from this day, it is very, very important for all of you. Please share the information to your friends that we started with Angular material, so that if anybody interested, they can come back and join from the class 1. Okay then, thank you. I leave it at that. No questions. So I assuming that you are all comfortable up to this. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day. We'll meet tomorrow.